Well, hello there, this is Toshio2002, and today we're going to have a look at Oriental Empires. Now, this game just came out in early access. That means it's still in development. And even if it has that little early access title, I do think it's a pretty complete game as it is. Now, what is Oriental Empires? What kind of game is this? Now, we're talking about it's like civilization, basically. It's civilization in China. You got several Chinese clans, as you can see here. Several Chinese factions. You start out in the Chinese Bronze Age, and you can go advancing in ages. You got the Warring States Age later on, and you can advance to the Imperial Age. So here we got several factions. As you can see, they all have different traits. Now, the ones that you start off the game with, these ones, they're mainly economical factions. They're more focused towards farming and culture. While the ones that are locked down there, they're more diverse. They have more traits, other traits that these ones don't have. Now, the thing that the way to unlock those new factions is by playing 200 turns of the Grand Campaign. So actually you have to play with one of these farmer nations first, as in like an introduction to the game, before actually playing with any of those advanced factions down there. So I just chose the Zhou, mainly because it says they're very good with chariots. And I just like chariots. Now this is the game, as you can see. First we have an advisor. She's giving us some advice on how to start the match. Having a quick read through it. I played like 30 minutes before this footage was recorded, so I more or less know what to do. As you can see, it does look like civilization. We have a city in the middle of the screen, and it's surrounded by territory. Now, the thing is, many other people, mainly YouTubers, have been comparing this game with Total War. They've been saying, this is a game that is a crossover between Civilization and Total War. But, no, really, it has nothing to do with Total War. The only thing that I mean, it's understandable that they compare it with Total War just because battle presentation is like Total War. We have stacks of regiments, stacks of units, and they battle in real time, Total War style. The thing is, you can't control them directly in battle. All you can do is before the battle starts, you give them some kind of battle orders. As in priorities, like I prefer that you guys charge in, or I prefer you guys defend and let the archers skirmish them from afar. That's the only thing that you can tell them to do. Also, you can set the facing for them on the world map, but that's basically it. Combat is automatic, just like if it were in Civilization 5. As you can see, we got settlers. I'm making some militia. So it's very Civilization-esque. I'm building some farms around the city. Now I'm going through the tabs, game tabs. This is the technology screen. As you can see, it's divided into 4 categories. We got power, which is more about military stuff. I'm checking out which technologies do what. Now here I think I'm going to select the Silk Weaver, if I'm not mistaken, which is the leftmost one. There we go. The Silk Weaver, because I'm interested in producing silk to trade with other cities. Here I'm going to go for an authority boost. Divination. And here I'm going to go for composite bow so I can make boom. Now authority is a small little resource that you generate in this game. It basically, the more authority you have, the more respect you command over your people. If you have very little authority, they're more prone to rebellion and all that. This is the faction status. We can see our faction, very Total War style. The screen. Reminds me of the Shogun 2 Total War screen. There's the victory conditions. They're really similar to the ones in Civ. We got culture victory, we got domination victory. There's also a point victory in case nobody gets one of the other victory conditions. So it's very civilization-esque. I'm going to skip my turn. As you can see, there we can see the units that we start off. That is the settler unit. You can actually zoom in all the way, which is a really neat feature. You can actually check out the units. That is the military unit, the general that we start off with. As you can see, if you didn't know that this was Oriental Empires, you might have thought this is a mod for a Total War game, making it Chinese style. But that is all the similarities with Total War. So really, people stop comparing it to Total War because it has nothing to do. You can also zoom in onto the town and check out your people. They're mostly just standing around, but it's a really neat feature that you can just zoom in onto any town and just check it out. Here we have the fields. We're starting to farm them. You can see the farmers doing their daily jobs. And yeah. So right now my idea is to cross this river with my settler to settle on the other side, because I saw a resource that I want to settle next to. Now the advice is telling me to make more settlers. I already anticipated that, so I am building a set of militiamen and settler. So I'm going to move the settler and my general to the other side of the river. Meanwhile, in my capital, I have already produced a settler and a couple more militiamen, as we can see there in the garrison. So I'm going to pick those and I'm going to send them northward. I'm going to check to the west if there was any resources, but here I see the rhinoceros resource, so I'm going to settle down near that. So I skip my turn. As you can see, movements only happen when you end your turn. They don't happen while doing your turn. So movements, they all happen at the same turn for all players. So that's a pretty neat feature. Here we cannot cross the river until next turn because it does spend one whole movement to cross a river. Here I keep building farms around my capital. Farms are really important. They produce food. Food in turn produces growth, and growth accelerates population increase. There we go, moving our troops around. Now this is when I'm going to found my second city, if I'm not mistaken. Yes I am, there we go. Found a settlement here. No, yeah, there is it. I got the copper resource right there. And that's when I'm going to say I want to settle here because I want to get that copper resource. Now, even though it seems that it's far away from my settlement, one thing that you can do in this game, you can build outside the borders of a city. There is buildings that you can build inside and buildings that you can build outside. The copper is in range, so I can build a mine for that copper. Here I'm going to find my third city, Bin. And here I spot a stack of bandits. Testing. We're back. Yes, we're back. Okay. So I'm going to try and get my military units that are inside Bin, and I'm going to fight. Right now I'm setting a battle order for them. As you can see, there's several options. You can tell them to defend, to charge, just like I explained before. But that's the only thing you can do before a battle starts. I right click on the bandits, and we'll see the battle unfold once I hit end turn. Meanwhile, I'm going to keep building some farms. I'm going to see if I can build a bazaar. There we go. Now the bazaar is just like a market. It's going to create trade routes between our cities. So I'm going to try and build bazaars in each of my cities to create those trade routes that generate money. And I keep building farms in my 3 cities. Can't recruit any more soldiers, I'm out of money. So all I have to do is turtle up a bit, get that money rolling. Technology is going correctly. So end turn, and this is when the battle is going to start. As you can see, I'm not controlling anything. It's basically my units decide what to do. We can see the numbers up there. It's 132 units versus 132. They got 2 stacks though. Now they're lining up and they are going to fight. There we have it. Now the animations, they're not completely polished, as you can see. I mean, they're not the best in the world. But I mean, that is not the focus of this game at all. It's a neat little thing that they added. And here comes another stack of my soldiers charging in. I did have 2 stacks in this city. There we go, and that's basically how battles go. You just don't really do much. Now the battles that we're going to see in these first couple of episodes, they're going to be very basic because I don't have much technology yet. The only thing I can build is light militiamen, which are these guys. Later on, of course, I'll be able to build chariots and archers and other complicated devices of death that makes battles more interesting. But right now they're just going to be melee rumbles. Now, as you can see, my stack up north have lost, so they retreated back to the city. So, and my second stack is having better luck, so they're going to finish off these rebels, and they're going to go and get the other stack. And they run away. Good. And now they're going to go chase the other stack. Pretty equal, 48 versus 47. But it's enough, we can get them. They're getting position for battle already. And they charge in. There we go. And they don't even want to fight back. They lose all their morale and they leave. Now, one thing I forgot to mention about this game is that it's being made by guys who actually worked in Medieval 2 Total War. Probably they had this fantasy of making a Chinese warring states kind of Total War, but they never could. So they split off and they're doing this, which is like very civilization style. Wait, there's the battle marker, just to know where a battle happened. We're going to keep developing Bin. Bin is going to be the objective of a lot of bandit attacks, so I'm going to have to fortify that a lot. Keep building the bazaars in all my cities. Feijing is already very developed. It has lots of farms, so it has lots of growth. And there you go. One thing that I did forget to mention is that, as you can, maybe you've noticed it already, but military units can get stacked. So right now I had 2 units of militiamen, and they're stacked on the same unit. As you can see, that's why I could command those 2 stacks at the same time. Now we're going to have another battle with the remaining bandits outside the city. And it's going to be an easy victory for us because the bandits are very weakened. They don't stand much of a chance. Yep, the animations are not the best. I know. But the game is still in early access, so I think it's forgivable at the moment. For being an early access game, it's pretty polished. It's pretty well done. I mean, I was expecting more bugs, more missing things, but the game actually seems pretty complete as is. Now, one cool thing is that the other stack is actually going to flank the other one by behind, and it's going to make them retreat. There we go. Funny thing is that banner that you saw coming, that was the general. I don't know what he was doing far away from the battle, but that is probably a bug. Alright. I'm gonna send the stack back to the city. They have to recover. Bin has very low population, so building farms is a priority. I can't build many though, because with so little population, you can only build as much as you can afford. I'm already building a bazaar, so they're full already. Phaging is very successful, as you can see. I'm trying to recruit another settlers to get a fourth city, but I don't have enough population for that at the moment. As you can see, the reports are pretty detailed. You can actually check what is giving you growth, what are your population coming from. You can click on basically everything. Everything has a tooltip in the game. Everything's pretty well explained. I mean, there is no actual tutorial to teach you how to play. You have to experiment a bit yourself, but there is no excuse just by toying around with the buttons. You just hover your mouse over any of the icons and it gives you an explanation of what it does. So that is pretty neat. Now my technologies are finishing, so I'm going to wait one more turn. As you can see, you can zoom out a very big distance, and it's like Civ 5 strategic mode. You see the things more or less in 2D. Now the advisor says I have insufficient authority. That was to be expected because I got 3 cities and I didn't actually improve my authority since the beginning of the game. So that's why I started investigating at the beginning a technology that would give me extra authority. As we can see, it's divination right down there. Just one more turn to finish and I get that extra authority that I need so that people don't rebel. So I'm just going to skip that turn. Going to end the turn, and I think this is going to be the end of part 1. I hope you enjoyed this first look at Oriental Empires. I'm going to keep playing with Zhou and probably expand our Chinese empire and probably get to be the emperor of all of China. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like and subscribe.